talk about the excitement and vibes that's heading into training camp and getting everything going.
Vibes are always at an all-time high. I feel like when the season comes around, everyone's got a smile on their face. It's like first day of school for us. And just having all the guys back, looking around, seeing all the faces we had, everyone getting back healthy. We're excited, and it's going to carry into the first couple of practices, and then once that shine gone, we got to find a way to dig deep and find it again because we got a big off season ahead of us and a big training camp ahead of us, and we're just excited to get out there and attack it.
What are some of the differences you do with Aaron, Hackett, just kind of with
Yeah. Just more reps, when with more reps comes better understanding, knowing where to be, when to be there, and I feel like we all feel that. It's natural when you get a second year in the offense and just more time to be around a guy like Aaron and all he asks of the offensive players and of offense, and it's all because it can make us better. So just everyone approaching it with the right mindset and finding a way to understand more this time around and really take the next step, because once you understand it, you can play at a different speed and stop thinking so much and just play.
What are some of the main objectives for this offense in training camp? What do you guys need to accomplish?
Just build that confidence that comes around during this time of the year when you get to compete against your own guys, and then we'll finally move into where we do joint practices. So just get to that point where we feel like we're better, taking the right step every day. Because at the end of the day, we haven't done exactly what we wanted to do. So we got to build that confidence, during this time of the year, and then when the time comes, carry it into Sunday.
Garrett, this offseason, what did you do specifically, knowing what Hackett brings in, knowing that you got Aaron all season, to improve your game and take it to your next level in your third year?
Yeah, just trying to get faster, and then there's always an element of understanding that. For me, a cerebral guy that I like to think of myself as when it comes to football. So watching film, film study, and from years past, and all the looks that Aaron has got, previously from different coordinators, because we'll probably see him again. So just understanding my knowledge of the game, and like I said, the step that comes with the offense. How can you take it to the next step? Because you do know the offense now, so you get to spend more time focusing on other things. So now I study the defense, and how they want to attack Aaron. But yeah, I feel like I got better this offseason. You always find out, here in a couple of days. So I'm real excited and yeah.
We talked to Quinnen, and he talked about how Aaron sets the standard for everybody else. Just talk about that and what is your standard as well.
Yeah, a guy like that is great. So, us competitors, us athletes, we want to match that. We want to find a way to bring that out of ourselves. And just the way he is, he's the type of guy that makes you think at practice, and it's good for us. It's not like that everywhere, though. It's not always like that with guys. So just knowing what he demands, because it can make us all really hard to stop. And I feel like the standard is it's been set. We have a good standard here, but with a guy like that, he just demands greatness. That's all it is. And I like to look at myself the same way you said. How do I go about things? I like to think in the same way, but I'm always learning. So having someone like that is valuable for me, just to be able to take notes from and learn how to practice, learn how to go about my reps and my mental reps, all that, because he does it the right way.
How do you match that standard?
Practicing the right way, building confidence. I feel like, that's why he has his confidence, because he knows what he's put in for 20 years or however long it's been, his whole life. He's built up to this point, and that's why you can walk around with that swagger, that confidence, and demand that out of your teammates.
After 2 good years to start your career, where do you expect to be this year? What's your level of expectation for yourself?
I really just want to be a part of a team that's great and reaches its full potential. I feel like last 2 years have been what they've been, and I'm excited for another opportunity to go out there and prove myself to the world. And I know my teammates feel the same way. I really want to take on this judge me for what I do, not what I've done mindset, and just be better. To help us win, and that's where I'm at.
In terms of getting your body ready for the season, how has that evolved over the last couple of off seasons?
Yeah.
How would you compare how you feel physically going into this season compared to maybe your rookie year last year?
Yeah, I mean, just getting stronger because, when I first got in this league, I wasn't strong enough. I could skate on some things because of what I do offer, but that year took a toll on me physically. And I had to find a way to get bigger, get stronger. And also it's just a mental toll that this takes on you as well. So, when you have the consistency and the, kind of life on loop thing, and it's a blessing, but don't get me wrong, but it's just, you got to find a way to, attack it some way different every day and find the beauty in it and just make sure you're attacking because it can get repetitive and you just got to keep finding something to attack. So, with my off season, it's like, you can do these things, you want to improve on what you're not good at. So, it always comes with physicality with me. I feel like that's how, a lot of coordinators try to attack me is tell their guys to be physical. So for me, I got to be able to match that this year. And, like I said before, with this season coming up and training camp coming up, I get an opportunity to go out there and prove that I have done, what I need to improve at. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Garrett, some massive contracts were handed out to wide receivers this offseason.
Right.
When you see those pop up on your phones, those updates, do you ever let yourself start dreaming about, if that payday could be coming for you sometime soon?
I see all of it. I don't look at it as far as that could be coming for me. I look at it as, I got to go make that happen. I got the opportunity to join an elite group of guys, and that's who gets that type of money, is an elite group of guys. Guys that are part of teams that win games because of them, and are difference makers every single time they're on the field. So, I gotta go do it, and I'm excited, man, because at the end of the day, if you do, what you think you can do, there's great conversation going out for it at this time. So, that's not how I'm motivated, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't see it, and I love to see it.
Garrett, we're just trying to do something that doesn't happen very often. Go from multiple years out of the playoffs to be next soon. Is there any excitement about trying to do something that is never done? Like a challenge that's put before you guys?
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, I've never looked at it that way, because I never saw I just never seen it that way. I've never saw the write up, or someone told me that, but that's the reality of what we're trying to do. I think we approach it with a mindset of let's get better every day, and we're not looking at it as we haven't been in the playoffs the last whatever it is, we haven't done this and whatever. It's just, let's find a way to get to our best version of ourselves, because we know what we can do. At the end of the day, we got to go out and do it. But the opportunity is there, and we're excited, man. So that's really all it needs to be, is an opportunity. And all these guys we got in the facility are willing to put in the work to try and make our dreams happen.
How is Sean Jefferson going to help you in the group?
Yeah, I mean, just being around him for the 2 months I got to be around him during OTAs, I feel like my game got a lot better. I learned a lot. And I became, more knowledgeable off the field when it's not about football, man. He offers so much, and he's someone that, I feel like we're going to have a great friendship. And, as well as him being a great coach, he's truly someone that I like to talk to. He's awesome, really an awesome coach. And, I can't wait to see him out here in training camp, putting on pads and helmet, and just what he demands from our group is something that if you're a competitor, if you love football, you love to be a part of. And I'm really excited to just get to work with him, man, because I feel like he's gonna bring it out me.
Here, you get a couple more. You had 3 position coaches in 3 years now. Is that challenging to adjust to a new coach each year like that?
Nah, I feel like it is what it is. You can look at it however you want to look at it. I look at it as a different football mind coming to drop knowledge at me, on me. And I feel like it's kind of valuable. Everyone's got a different approach, different way they coach the game, different things to offer that, I can pick up the good things, trying not to pick up the bad things. And when you got, at this time, 3 people to choose from, I feel like I've gained a lot. And, 3 great football minds, 3 great receiver minds that I've got to work with. So, truly, I feel like it's helped me. I've got a different perspective. I've not heard the same, I don't know what you call the hoorah things for 3 years straight, which can get repetitive. It's been different every year. It's been fresh, and You know, this one we got this year, I'm really excited to work with him for sure.
Well, Sean, the fact that he played in the league for so long, he was a pretty good
Oh yeah,
receiver.
oh yeah.
Has he told you that, how good he was? He shared some of his, like, war stories.
Yeah, you know, these old heads, they got away with telling you about how great they was, whether it was true or not. In his case, it's true. In his case, he could really ball. So,
Is that not like getting a former player's perspective?
yeah, oh yeah. No, it's definitely a different level of knowledge that I think comes with playing the game, and a different approach that he understands and gets. You know, he always says he was just like me, like as far as our competitive ways and all that, and how we would have had went at it back in the day. You know, he's hilarious, by the way. But yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where not everyone can offer that what a player has, and it goes both ways. You know, when you have to learn a game from the outside, you have different perspective, different way to offer. So for me, it's really valuable to have a guy that played receiver, has been in different receiver rooms, part of winning teams, played with, you know, a different amount of quarterbacks, and he just gets it. He just gets it, and you know, that kind of comes with it when you've played as long as he has and been around the game as long as he has.
Did you gain last one? You said you're stronger. Did you gain weight?
Yeah, so I'm, you know, at the start of the season last year, I was probably 184, which is fine, you know, for me, but it's a little low. And I just weighed in today, I was like 187, so nothing crazy, but it's where is the weight, and I'm stronger, you know, so I just feel like I'll be able to handle it a lot better than I have in the past, as far as the wear and tear it can take on you, and hopefully I'm taking some less hits, and there's a lot of things that play into it, but all in all, I'm gonna be ready for whatever comes with it this season, and I'm excited, for real.
Just talk about your excitement and just kind of the vibes with camp starting up.
I'm super excited, man, to get back to be around the guys. I was excited in OTAs, and now we get the chance to put it all in front of us and really fight for something, really work towards something, and work towards our ultimate goal, and that's being great every single day and winning football games. So,
You guys had high expectations last year, obviously.
No.
Is it the same? I don't mean the expectation, but the feeling. Does it feel the same this year coming back? Does this feel anything different?
I think
Players too now.
I think being a ultimate competitor, being how much hard work everybody put in around the NFL, not just here, but everybody have super high expectations every single year. Just doing the things that we can do in this organization and our field to win football games. That means the most thing. That means the ultimate thing to win the Super Bowl. So you got to win football games. You got to win every single down. You got to win on the field and off the field. So that's our main focus right now, and that's really the expectation, is to win every single day. So,
How did last year and all the noise and expectations can help you this time around this year?
can you repeat that again?
You had a lot of high expectations last year, and then it seems like that's going to be the case again. Just how can that, going through what you went through last year, can help you this time around?
You know me, man. I really preach not focus on the outside noise, even when it's going good, even when it's going bad. Not really focus on the outside noise, but just the inner peace and the inner noise that we have amongst ourselves, the expectations we have amongst ourselves, the standard that we have amongst ourselves, and really focus on that. So if we hold each other to a super high standard, hold each other to a super high expectation, and really vibe off each other and work for each other, it will be great. So
You mentioned the standard several times. Just kind of what is your standard and the standard of this defense?
my standard is excellence, greatness, excellence every single day. My standard as a defense is excellent greatness every single day. And this team is the same thing. We got a great quarterback who set the standard every single day, man. When he comes in here, it's greatness, man. He's a ultimate MVP, man, Hall of Famer, and he set the standard by the way he just walked, about the way he talked, the way he interact with the safeties, the D-line, the punter, the kicker, anybody. Like, I feel like he set the standard every single day for this whole team, and for us as other leaders and younger guys to carry that standard also, and to push on to each and every one of us. So,
Following up on that, is there anything different about Aaron as a leader? I know it's only one day and how this year compared to last year, what you new here?
No, he's been the same person ever since, man. Just like we said last year, like I'm saying this year, he was here every single day during OTAs, putting in the work, grinding, showing everybody like, hey, like, this is the way we're going to do things around here. This is the way I'm going to do things. This is the way I want you guys to do things and different things like that. So he's a very hard-working person on the field and off the field, and just do the things that necessary to be a great person in the MVP Hall of Fame caliber quarterback that he is, and to help us be MVP Hall of Fame positions and players that we can be. So,
in what ways do you think the defense can be better than last year?
Execution. I feel like consistency and execution. Let me say that. It's certain games, speaking on, like, I was just watching one this morning, just watching film being bored, was Dallas last year. We didn't execute at a high level. We didn't be consistent at a high level. And certain games got out of whack. Certain games got out of, like, speaking on, I was watching another game, Washington, how in the end, the second half of Washington game didn't really go as well as we wanted to when it come down to an execution standpoint or a consistency standpoint. So the biggest thing for us, we very talented, very together, very chemistry, but I feel like we got to be more, we got to execute at a very high level, not just the first half, not just the first quarter, but the full 60 minutes, and be consistent.
What was your reaction when you found out Hassan Reddick wasn't here today?
It wasn't a big reaction, man. Hassan is a great person on the field and off the field, a great teammate, a great talent when it come down to pass rushing, when it come down to run stopping and doing the things that he can do. And I was in this position last year, so I know how the organization works. I know how Joe Douglas and Coach Saleh and all those guys works, and knowing him personally as a great competitor and a great person who wants to be here, who wants to win championships, man, I know they're going to get everything ironed out. So.
Does it matter, Quinn, if he's not here for a little while? Trade him?
It definitely is. I'm gonna say I try to stay out of all that. I know he's an amazing football player. I know he's an amazing person. I know this organization is amazing when it comes down to getting those things done in a decent time. So I'm pretty sure they're just gonna iron everything out. But he's a phenomenal football player, man. When he stepped on this field, man, he changed the whole thing, whole aura of just because he's a guy that can put up 15 plus sacks a year, 10 plus sacks a year, different things like that. So I'm just blessed to have him on my side. So
as a defensive line in this defense, is it, and going back to Son, is there going to be a lot he has to pick up, or do you think, it's just the attack mentality that you guys play with, he'll be able to pick that up quickly?
I just think we got a bunch of great guys in our defensive line room, bunch of great coaches, and Aaron Whitecotton and Brick and different things like that who can teach him. And he's a very smart player, man. He's got so much experience and been in this league. Like I say, he's a Hall of Fame MVP caliber edge rusher. So when it come down to teaching him the things, when it come down to showing him the standard and showing him different things, like it's gonna be like riding a bike for him, because we got so many great defensive linemen in our room, so many great coaches in our room to help him come up to speed and do the things that he got to do to fit in with us. So
what is the impact that Reddick can't have on his defense once he gets here?
He's amazing, man. Just the things he's been doing the last 5-6 years, man. He putting up double-digit sacks in the last 5-6 years and something like that. So a person that can change games, like when he changed the championship game versus San Fran with the strip fumble and just the different things he do, man. He's a game changer for sure, man. A guy who super high caliber, a guy who can rush the edge, who can stop the run. He can do it all at a super elite level. So I'm just, like I always say, man, I'm just super excited to have him on my side of the ball on my team to help me out. So
you talked about consistency and execution a year ago, about what the Suns can be. How much better can this defense get?
The sky's the limit, man. I don't want to ever put a bracket on whatever we can do as get better, man, because so many guys change, man. You got Jermaine Johnson coming into his third year, who can be a Pro Bowl, all-pro kind of guy, Pro Bowl kind of guy. You got a guy like Sauce who's getting better and better, and also teaching and different things like that. So, man, it's the sky's the limit with this defense, man, especially when you get a defense that as talented as we is, and the good things we did in the past, and now that we got even better, more things to get correct, more things to be more sound on, more things to be more consistent on, and be more violent on and dominate more, man. The sky's the limit. So
you mentioned Sauce and this kind of teaching, this kind of, what have you seen to help with him leadership-wise?
Leadership been unbelievable, man. Like him and Jermaine, man, coming to their third year, two guys who has had success. I'm pretty sure they not where they want to be at right now, but they definitely like ascending to where they want to go to be a part of this team and to be a part of this league and the legacy they want to leave on this league and different things like that. So their leadership been unbelievable, man. Just teaching the younger guy, because they're going in their 3rd year of this scheme. So teaching the young guy, teaching us, man, just developing at a super high rate, man, just learning new things and just taking coaching at a high level. So
You mentioned going into the 3rd year of this. A lot on the offensive side, while how important that consistency is. How important is that on the defensive side?
Oh, it's super important, man. Just because, like, you go into training camp not trying to just learn new things, man. You're just trying to really critique new things, find out where you can take your shots at, find out where you can steal plays at, find out what you can do better in these situations. If I get tighter in the 3-tech, if I get looser in this 3-tech, just different things like that, because you know the plays already, just because you've been going into this scheme. So now you can just fine tune every single little small detail to make you more consistent and more dominant. So,
what do you think about the landscape next year with the Fotu and Kinlaw coming in?
Oh, them guys are massive dudes, first of all, man. They coming in, man. I seen those guys work doing OTAs and the different things they did, man. And it's so funny because I've been watching Kinlaw destroy Alabama when he was at South Carolina. And I've been watching him do his thing at San Fran for the last couple of years. And I'm super excited for the talent that he can become and the things he can do. I know he felt like he has a little rough start and different things like that, but the talent that he has is unbelievable, man. And I can't wait to be that leader, that guidance, and also that standard to help push him to the guy I know he can be and the defensive line that we can be. So,
What's it like seeing some of the Pirates out there? They don't line up across half of very much, but
it's unbelievable, man. Seeing a guy like a guy like Aaron, man, he has got the same aura about him, man. You come in, a guy like that come in that can make the whole defensive line better, just because he's a tackle that's seen so much, done so much, played against so many great people. A guy like Jermaine Johnson going his 3rd year who want to be that all-pro guy, and a guy that get that practice every single day. To see the battles that we have when we got to play a slip versus him, or when we got to play different combo moves against him and different things like that. So having a Hall of Fame left tackle on your team, man, and a guy who's unbelievable, humble, unbelievable teacher, coach, anything when it come down to nutrition, because I asked him about nutrition during OTAs because he's a specimen. So seeing different things like that, having him on our team is unbelievable and a super gift, just like Aaron is.
Any tips? What are the tips you gave you on nutrition?
Stick to salmon. So,
but as good onto his figures, just your impression of him and his story as a guy who never played college football, trying through the grass through the CFL.
He's amazing, man. I got a chance to be at OTAs with him this past OTA, man, to see the plays that he made, to see the confidence that he have and the swagger that he have, because he is an underdog and he knows he's an underdog. So he got that underdog swagger I'm not gonna like disrespect him or nothing like that, but like a walk-on coming who he can play and different things like that. So he just got that great swagger about himself, man, to come on and say, man, I'm gonna make plays, I belong here type swagger, man. He's not scared to speak up, he's not scared to ask questions, he's not scared to talk, man. So having a guy like him, man, he's an unbelievable player, man. The story that he has right now is an amazing story for people, the younger generation and the people behind him, people in high school, to see that, man, I can make it. It don't have to be the 3rd overall pick or the 1st overall pick or a 1st round pick, but I can still have a journey to get to the NFL also. So,
Questions?
So how'd you think you performed out there today?
Well, I felt pretty good. It was hot. It was kind of a grind. It reminded me of one of those old school practices, even though it was only 90 minutes. I felt like we were moving the whole time. It was good.
Aaron, after all the effort you made last year to try to get back on the field, what was it like for you today to actually be back with your guys?
Well, I was practicing last year, so it didn't feel as significant. The expectations were, there wasn't, I had to fulfill some sort of expectation. I just felt like I was able to practice last year, the last 3 weeks. This was, a continuation of the off-season work and the OTAs, and yeah, it felt good to be out there. It's a very limited install one when you only have a 90-minute practice. So I felt like, we did the same things we did in OTAs. We added to it. The offense obviously looks a little bit different, I would say, especially pre-snap, and I like what we did.
And why did Bishop Egypt? Why did it have to be that week rather than, say, a week later when there were no activities?
Yeah, I originally scheduled it based on the previous year's schedule. which had us out, I believe, by the 9th or 10th. So once I saw the schedule, I was trying to move some things around. I just didn't happen.
What was your fascination with Egypt?
Oh, I've been a fan for 3 decades, ever since I was in a gifted and talented education class. I don't know if those are paid for or not, but I was in it. We studied mythology from Egypt and Greece, and those are like my top 2 on the bucket list. So, back in some of the doldrums of the rehab, I thought it'd be fun to put together a trip with some friends, and we wanted to plan it kind of middle of June. Looked at the previous year's schedule and felt like I was going to be safe.
Considering your participation throughout the spring, were you surprised at the reaction from people that, you weren't there those 2 days?
Well, it's like I said on Big Cat's podcast, they're OTA days. They happen to be labeled as minicamp. It's not the same as it was in 2005 or 2010. The schedule is an OTA day. It's labeled as minicamp, so you can try and get anybody who hasn't been around to be there. Yeah, I had a great talk with Robert. Obviously, he wanted me to be there, and I knew the consequences if I wasn't going to be there. The reaction is what it is.
What did you get fined?
Yeah.
Do you think Robert needed the 50 mandatory amount? I think it's 50.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think it might have been a little more than that. But look, I made it a point to be at every OTA. I was at the physical day as a part of the mini camp. Missed the two practices. Had talks with all my teammates about it. I think they understood it was obviously more of an issue outside the building than it was inside the building. Robert and I are great. We had great conversations throughout the off season. Had a fun one last night in his office till later on. So, it is what it is. I'm an adult. I knew what I was getting into. I knew the fine that was coming, and also knew how much I wanted to be in Egypt. I wish there hadn't been a conflict scheduling wise, but was what it was.
I think Robert had to do it that way because Reddick was also absent, so it wouldn't look like a double standard where Reddick might get fined and you wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I trust Robert, and we talked about it, so I knew what was coming down.
Just a deeper meeting behind your t-shirt you wore yesterday with Pat. Any message?
Not really. I just looked through my closet, and there was a lot of options. I actually bought one of those full-length kind of outfits that I saw a lot in Egypt. I put it on, and it was a little tight, to be honest. So I hadn't tried it on since Egypt, so I decided I wasn't going to wear that one. But I liked that shoot that I bought, so I decided to wear that.
Which trip, what was the highlight of your Egypt trip?
That's tough. The last 2 days were pretty special. The second last day, we were at the pyramids and the Sphinx in a private, private viewing, and then we went out in the desert on camels.
Go to the camp?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big animal. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Not the nicest animal. I've been around llamas before. That's a big llama. And I was trying to make sure I stayed out of the way of any spit that was coming out. But, yeah, that was fun. We got to watch the sun go down in the desert, watch the moon rise. And, yeah, it was a really special trip.
What is it like building chemistry with this offense when you didn't have the full season last year?
Yeah, I mean, we had training camp, and then we had obviously the 10 OTAs this year. That's what training camp's all about trying to find ways to get on the same page. I felt like the work that was done between Hackett and the staff and Coach Sala in the offseason, the offense was really good. I feel like we have some nice wrinkles that we added. Now we just got to put them all together, find a way to come together, and stay healthy. I like the vibe of the team is different this year. Obviously, last year there was a lot of hype around me and Hard Knocks. This year, some of that stuff settled down. I feel like we're a little bit more settled in. We're definitely a little more mature up front with the two older guys we got at tackle who can still really play. Bringing in John Simpson, Another year for Tip, AVT coming back healthy, and now you look at behind those guys. You got a lot of guys who played a lot of football now, so the depth we have in offensive line is pretty good. Feel really good about that. Obviously drafted a couple backs. Mike Williams, who looks to be ahead of schedule, I think, on his rehab. So we need to get him out there. But I thought Allen made a couple nice catches today, and we're looking for some growth from Gibson and Brownlee and Malik and some of our younger guys who are second year in the system.
Can you say physically that you're back to where you were pre-injury, or is there just going to be some time that it will take, through repetition to get back to where you were?
Yeah, Rich, I think it's going to take a little time. I think I feel great. The numbers, we track all the numbers out west where I work out now for a decade. And, my movement stuff is tracking the exact same as last year. Actually a little bit stronger with some of the squatting stuff that we did. But I just need the reps. The last 5% of being 100% is just the mental part. So the more, like today, the last play I had, being able to move in the pocket quickly and not think about it, those are like stacked reps that help you get to those last 5% of feeling 100%.
Just to follow on that, Aaron, we obviously had a couple of significant injuries in Green Bay and played at a high level after that. How hard is it to regain full trust in your body after a major injury like that?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it takes a little bit. It takes, like I just said, it takes those banked reps where you do something, and that's kind of like an anchor point for you to remember back that you're able to do the things you used to be able to do. Not having played, for an entire season, really, it's going to take, a nice training camp to feel like myself. That's what even in the middle years of my career, I always felt like you had to reinvent yourself in training camp and figure out that rhythm that you need. There was a time in 2020, I guess it was, where I harkened back to some of the stuff I used to do. It kind of found this rhythm in my drop that allowed me to have one of the best seasons of my career. So I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but there's going to be a time during training camp where it all starts to line up, and for all of us, but for me, I'm going to need some of those plays to find that rhythm. And once I get the rhythm, then I feel like we'll just fall back into place.
We spoke to a few of the players, and they talked about how you set the standard, like for the franchise and everybody else, the tone. Just talk about the importance in that. Why is that important to you?
Well, first, I think it's important that you have to bring the energy, the enthusiasm every single day. I think you have to set the standard by the way you show up every day. You got to be active in meetings. You got to be attentive. You got to be tapped into the energy of the team. I mean, the goal is New Orleans, and so that's got to be the focus. It's got to be the manifestation through our words and our actions, and everything needs to be intentional that we do on the field, in the meeting rooms. So just trying not to waste any moments. I mean, there's a lot of room for fun and hanging with the guys and joking and stuff, and time at the at the hotel. But when we're practicing, when we're in drill work, it needs to be intentional. And I think you got to set that standard. You got to hold guys accountable. There's a ton of opportunities, though. It's not just me. It can't just be me. It's got to be other guys stepping up into a leadership role. I look to guys like Garrett, in his third season, Brees in his third season, Sauce in his third season. Those are three of the top players on our team. I look to them to step up their leadership. I look to guys like Conk, who's coming off a nice season, to step into that. I look to guys like Tyron and Moses to step in and lead those guys up front. I want to empower Tipman. I think Tip has a chance to take it over. Corey Lindsley was a center for us for a long time, and even in 2014, his rookie year, with a veteran line that was probably our best line over the years we had, he stepped in and got those guys going, and they listened to him. And I think Tip can do that. So we got to empower the leadership. A lot of that's just listening. Sometimes you got to defer. Just because you're the quarterback or the assigned leader, the voted leader, sometimes you got to step aside and let somebody else have a time to stand up and say something in front of the team, or to break it down in practice, or to get on somebody. And I think that's what you're looking for as these practices progresses. Who is kind of stepping into that role to be the guy who can back you up and take that leadership mantle.
Your realistic goal is New Orleans for this team.
Well, it has to be the goal. I mean, the beauty is every single year there's 8 to 12 teams, maybe, probably less, but 8 to 12 teams that could actually do it, and we're one of those 8 to 12.
Do you feel it's like here you rebury after they drafted Jordan, but that kind of motivated you to right to those two? I mean,
and now they drafted another Jordan.
Is there any similarity here with you're 40? You know, people say you're 40, you're coming off a major injury. There's some doubts about what you do.
Yeah.
Is there any similarities to that?
Well, I mean, I think there's always similarities. You got to find, you know, perceived or actual slights to kind of add to the chip if you need it. Sometimes you make it up if you really need it. I haven't seemed to need to do that. There's plenty of doubts out there, which is great. But first and foremost, you got to prove it to yourself. And once you do that, you don't worry about the outside opinions; those take care of themselves. But I do appreciate the opinions from time to time, especially the negative ones, because every now and then you need something to draw a little bit of inspiration from.
You mentioned You mentioned that Garrett, he was talking to us yesterday. He said to prepare for the season, he went back and watched old tape of you and how defenses attacked you. I don't know, were you aware of that? Are you part of his process? And what does it say about him that he's gone to that extent to research?
Well, the best players are self-motivated, and he's definitely that. Again, I think it's important for him to step into a greater leadership role. The way you cement that is by your work on the field. And I told him in the meeting yesterday, I think he has the talent, the ability to be the best receiver in the league. I'm biased. I think 17 in Las Vegas has been that for the last 5 or 6 years. He didn't get that by just showing up. He got that by the way he worked. I mean, his level of excellence and his attention to detail in my time in Green Bay was second to none. He just practiced like that all the time. He had a mindset when he stepped on the field of dominating. And that carried over into the games where we used to talk. When we're driving to Lambeau Field on the day of the game, it wasn't, are we going to win today? It's how bad are we going to dominate? And I think he has the ability and the confidence and the skill set to have that mindset, but it starts with the way he practices. So he's an animated guy. He's passionate. And I think if he can take that leap, and it's actually not a leap, it's kind of just a little jump, he has a chance to be really, really special.
You were pretty confident last year that you guys were one of the 6 to 8 teams.
Did I say 6 to 8 last year? I think so. Expanded it?
This year's 8 to 12.
What is it? Yeah. Parity, that's what the NFL wants. They want parity, yeah.
You think the roster's even better this year?
I think so, yeah.
Are even better, and do you think maybe what you guys went through last year, Robert talked about everybody being more locked in this year. Do you think you see that?
Well, it's day one, so day two, I guess. So, but I think we're locked in. I think we're better up front. So, on the offensive side, there's the experience. There's Tippy in his second year. Obviously, if Elijah stays healthy, he's a premier guard in the NFL. So I think we're better up front. You know, and across the board on offense, I think we have that year of experience. Defensively, we're always going to be good. You know, we have depth. Our D-line, we can just roll people up front. You look at some of the guys we got now. I mean, Kinlaw is a creature. I mean, he's a beast, man. I haven't seen a guy like that too many times in the league. And there's a lot of those guys. You know, the guys that we got returning. You know, Quinnen Williams is one of the top players. His position, they're inside backers. I put up against anybody. Our first 3 corners, you know, the outside guys and our nickel are as good as anybody in the league. The back end, Chuck and Tony, you know, are an incredible tandem. So that side of the ball is gonna be really solid. And offensively, it's us to prove that we can be a top 10 offense.
Thanks, everybody. You were coaching.
Nice one. You got in.
You were coaching up number 17, the rookie.
Malachi, yeah.
And then you also did the same thing with Garrett. What were you saying to each of them?
Garrett has a different skill set than I'm used to. He's so dynamic with his moves. Sometimes he doesn't need to do all that. You know, so sometimes he can just speed cut out of something. And so we're just talking through, I'm going to watch the film, but it was basically like, what did you see? How come he did this? What do you think about speed cutting maybe? And then let's watch the film and talk about it. With Malachi, he's a great kid. He really is. He cares about it. He wants to be great. It's just a little reminder when we're running a certain route in the 3x1 and he has a vertical, if he has inside leverage already, he can just push straight up and the ball is going to be on him. So it's like a reminder, I might not have been in on the play, but I'm watching the play. And if we run the exact same play and you're in there, this is what I need from you. So it's just get on the same page as those guys. And I think that's an important part of being a professional is if you're not in, you're still taking a mental rep. And as a quarterback, if I'm not taking that rep, I still got to let these guys know if I was in there, this may have happened. Not that Ty didn't do something right or something. Ty's, he's a phenomenal player. But if there was a situation where you could have gotten the ball, his angle was way too flat. You got to be vertical and expecting the ball on your back shoulder. So I'm just going to stay on those guys and coach them up as much as I can. And they got a great coach, though. I love having SJ here. Love having Tony Deuce here. And excited about the season.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
So I had to go first day back, training camps and everything. How'd it go for you?
Well, I feel like I had a pretty good first day. I was just making sure I overemphasized communicating, because it's contagious. 11 guys on the field, ain't no need to keep secrets. You know what I'm saying? So today that's what I focused on. And I feel like not just me, but the whole defense, even the offense, we all, in special teams, we all had a great day collectively.
Let's see him.
Sauce, when a guy makes All-Pro his first 2 years, what does he do for an encore?
I'm just trying to come here day in and day out and be the best teammate I could be. That's just accolades. None of that changes the fact that, I'm still trying to be a sponge. I have older guys around me and guys my age. I still don't know everything that I need to know, and I'm not perfect, like I always say. So I'm still just trying to find ways to just keep getting better and improve my game and find ways to be able to help others as well.
How do you do that? How do you continue to get better? What do you need to work on?
Yeah, everything. I'm one of those guys, I do EDD, everyday drills, but, it's more than just on the field. Just how I come in and day out and watch guys like DJ, the way he just take notes and everything like that. I'm just trying to not just know what I have to do and what the secondary have to do, but just know what the backers have to do, what the D-line have to do, so I can know when to expect the ball to be out, just certain things like that.
We talked to Quinnen and Garrett, and they talked about how Aaron sets the standard here. Just talk about, from your perspective, how has Aaron set the standard for you and some of the rest of your teammates?
Oh man, he definitely does. Just watching him and how he attacked the day, it's just something as little as him just picking different people to just have lunch with, have breakfast with, when he come in the building. Just little things like that, and just how you think like, man, he really a great dude. And football is football. He's been around a while and he's played for another team, and so he know how things should be ran. And he's a leader. When he's in the building, he have a standard, and it's a standard we follow. And it's not just that; his standard aligns with the standard that Coach Saleh has set. So we just all on the same page, and we understand that the best teams are the player-led teams, and Aaron is a true leader.
After all we went through last year to try to get back to play, what's it like for you seeing him out there today?
It was great. I'm a competitor, and I know he's a competitor. He's not one of those guys who he wants you just feeling a lot of sympathy for him. When he's on the field, he wants you to give it your all because he know he's going to give it his all. So, I'm sure y'all probably heard me. I was out there talking a lot and communicating, and he was out there giving me that look like I'm still going to go at you no matter what talking you're doing. So, it's great to just have him out there on the field.
Since you've been here, the Jets have finished top 5 in defense both years. Just how much better can you and also the rest of your team is on the defensive end continue to be?
I mean, you always think that you can get better, day in, day out, year in, year out. You don't never want to be complacent because, top 5 is not good enough. That's just the standard that we have. And we just know the guys that we have in the building, especially in the defensive room, like, we can be where we want to be. So, we think we can improve a lot, from last year.
What do you want to be?
The best, whatever that is. But, we know that we want to be the best. And everything that we do from when we walk in the building to when we leave the building, you know, has to align with whatever the best is.
Not just the defense, but what is your expectation for this team this year with all the changes that were made, Aaron being healthy?
I mean, I know it's a lot of changes, a lot of guys that's came here, whether it's they got traded, picked up for free agency, or drafted. You know, we just taking it one day at a time. You know, we in training camp. You know, we just gonna make sure we attack training camp. You know, we not thinking too far down the road. You know, I feel like we did that a lot, you know, the past couple of years. And, you know, even with hard knocks and stuff like that, it's like, it's a little bit extra that it put on you, but, you know, we just making sure we be where our feet are, you know, we stay in the moment.
With Aaron in practice, there's some quarterbacks around the league in practice that check down a lot because they don't want to throw interceptions. How helpful is it for defensive backs that he has no fear and he's going to try all kinds of things so you guys have more attempts to make plays on the ball?
And it's great. It's great, like you said. You know, he'd rather throw the ball out down the field, you know, and still you got guys like Garrett he'll jump extremely high and still try to go get the ball because he feel like every ball is catchable. So he'd rather take the chance throwing a deep shot out instead of throwing a little check down. And, you know, it's great to just be able to get a lot of opportunities like that in practice because, you know, when you get out there in the game, you're expecting those opportunities and you want to be able to make the most out of them.
Sauce, you're still a young player overall, but there are quite younger guys on this defense in secondary. Quantes Stiggers, Jared from our Converse. What have you seen from them? Obviously, they came up with 2 big plays today, but what have you seen from them in their development?
Man, they both kind of similar, you know, like mentally, you know, they just so willing to learn. You know, that's one thing I can say about the guys that's in our room and the guys that have been in our room. And that's a testament to the coaches and the guys that they bring in. They bring in guys that's hungry and willing to learn. You know, the stuff that we talk about in the meeting room, they just translate it to the field and they just go out there and make plays. So it's no surprise at all. You know, I was telling Stig, because he made a lot of plays in OTAs. You know, it's training camp, but let's not make it more than what it is. You know, we're going to compete. We always compete regardless. It's just basically OTAs, just with more people watching.
So that's fighting harder beat to this defense.
He mean a lot. He's an important part to the defense. You know, he helps in the run game. He helps at nickel and the covers aspect of things. And a lot of people might not know this, but when people say corner is the hardest position, you know, nickel probably is harder than corner. You know, because you getting those, they can literally run any route against the nickel. You know, but when you on the island, if you got a receiver with a wide split, you know he can only run 3 to 4 routes, you know, but MC, man, he getting over routes, banana sevens. He got to help in the run game. He got to play an important role in the run game. So, man, for him to just be able to do that, I have a huge amount of respect for him, and so does the coaches and the rest of the team.
You talk about wanting to improve and become the best, but in your 3rd year now, how are you taking the next step as a leader?
Just making sure I'm being vocal. Like I said, when I'm out there, I'm making sure I'm not keeping no secrets. Coach Saleh, he talked about something. He said something earlier. I'm trying to see if I can remember. He said, if you want to get somewhere fast, you go alone, but if you want to get far, you go together. So that's just the main thing. I'm just making sure everything I do, it lines up with the rest of the team. It's not just me. It's not just about me at all, you know. So that's the main thing, just making sure I'm vocal, making sure I'm able to listen, making sure I'm able to give knowledge to the younger guys or guys, whoever need help.
How much more comfortable are you with that than you were 2 years ago, and how much different does it look or sound out there? Like being a leader, taking guys under the wing, that kind of thing for you in practice?
I'm much more comfortable. Like now, I really seen it when we was in OTAs. Like when the younger guys would just ask me a lot of stuff, and I'm like, it's making me feel old, even though I know I'm still real young. But it was kind of different. But you know, I'll be lying if I said it didn't make me happy to just be able to, you know, just try to teach them some things that I know or some tricks that I know, because I'm actually on the field and just giving them keys or whatever, you know. So it's real different, but I like it. But like year one, you got guys like CJ who look serious all the time, stuff like that, and he the one talking. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna let him talk, and I'm gonna just make sure I execute my job. Cause you young, so it's like can't try to do too many things at once. You gotta just make sure you know what you're doing, and that's what they wanted me to do. The older guys, the coaches, just make sure you know what you're doing.
It was an article that came out like last week that surveyed people around the league. You were named the 3rd best corner in the league by these anonymous personnel people. I don't know if you saw it, but one of them was not named, but called you overrated, and another one said a couple of guys said you're handsy. You have a reputation for being handsy out there. Just to get your thoughts on that stuff.
I mean, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. If it was year one, I probably would be feeling a certain type of way. But if you had to ask literally everybody who they think their favorite corner is, I don't think everybody would say me. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have some people who say I'm probably number 2, some people say I'm number 3. And I see some people say I wasn't even top 10, and it's just like, that's your opinion. And I can't be mad at you for having an opinion at all. Probably if I was a little bit, like a few years back, I probably would be mad. Like, I'm just being honest. But now it's one of those things like, of course I'm a big corner, and the receivers, they know I'm gonna get hands on them. Like, that's what I do, especially if I'm pressing. And it's one of those things where it's like, you see it on the internet and it's like, okay, but you still think in the back of your head like, sheesh, it's like anonymous people saying I'm handsy and overrated more than like the guys that I'm going against. How, you know, it's reporters that saying that, but I haven't really seen receivers say that themselves. When I go against them top receivers, it's like, hey, you a dog, man. Appreciate it. It was good work. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. So I got to take that through one ear and out the other one. And I hear an anonymous source say something like that.
You would rank yourself 2?
Who?
You would rank yourself number 2?
No, I wouldn't. I think DJ is the best. Once again, I always say DJ is the best. So I 1A and 1B, me and DJ. You know?
What probably college was just suffer anything you can take from that experience to run it to the football field?
Oh, man. See, every time I hear the word golf, it's just, I don't know. It was just a blessing to be able to have that side quest, you know, part of my off season. One thing I can take, just being in a moment, because golf is kind of similar to football, because I say if you hit a bad shot or something like that, you got a decent amount of time to think about it. But it got to be one of those things where it's like, that play over with, just like golf, that shot over with. And it just helped with my mental a lot, just being able to just go out there, and golf is just, you just hear nature, and it's quiet, you know, so it really helped. It really helped me like slow my mental down, and I try to make that apply to the football field, you know, especially if I have a bad play or something like that, just come back down, you know, tone it back down. So, yeah.
You did say golf was harder than football, right? You still believe that?
Yeah, I still believe it. You know, it's one of those things, I'm glad I can clarify it a little bit more. So, like, if you had to start at the beginning from, like, not knowing how to play football, not knowing how to play golf, I feel like it'll be harder for you to learn golf. Or if it's like a football player because I just experienced it, who went over to golf. So it's like, it's tougher. But like, if you know how to play golf and you know how to play football, it's like, all right, football is more physical, you know, it's stuff like that go into it. So I didn't mean it in that aspect. I'm just talking about the learning curve and everything. And it's one thing to being able to hit on like a simulator, and then going out there on the actual golf course and going through all the things that you got to go through. I don't even want to talk about it because I had some horrible days. I broke 90 once. Right before training camp. So, you know, that's a good start. Horrible. Horrible.
Thanks, Seth.
I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.